welcome to another edition of Business Wisdom Wednesday, where we inspire and empower people to live life full out. Now, I'm really excited because the Inspire Hospitality Brand Ambassador Program, I've been hearing a lot about it. So I'm really honored to have AJ Off the Box, one of Washington's hottest brand ambassadors. I know you're out there helping businesses scale with their back office and social media. Sister, it's good to see you. How are you?
Good to see you too, and I'm doing good.
AJ Off the Box.
Yes.
Yes. We also amazed to have today. I know you don't come out a lot because my sister Tamina Pryor, attorney, you're out there making things happen and really pushing the legal perspective to making it simple where people can really apply the legal processes. So, my sister, please tell us who you are.
I am Tamina Pryor. Hello. I am an attorney and a friend.
Yeah.
I'm your legal bestie.
Yeah, you are our legal bestie. And that's so important for people to have that legal advice, that legal person. But you're also a graduate of one of Washington's, I want to say, best kept secrets. What school is that?
David A. Clark School of Law, University of the District of Columbia. I am a double firebird.
All right.
Bachelor's and JD.
All right. So, we got somebody here, right?
Yeah.
So why don't you kind of lead us in? Because there are a lot of young people over the summer that are finding themselves in trouble with the law, right?
That's true.
And can you tell us what are some of the crazy things young people are doing out here that's catching them out there, on the box because they're going to put something on your ankle if you get caught, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Tell us about that.
Fighting, stealing cars, doing dumb stuff, like having guns, gun charges and stuff like that.
Young people? They got gun charges with young people? Did you know that, Miss Pryor?
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness gracious.
It's just a lot, just a lot of dumb things happen that could put you in a box.
Now, these are old young people or these are young people? Like, how old are people?
It's in the middle.
Like what? Give us an age range.
Like, I'm going to say 16 all the way to 70.
Okay, 70. Yeah,
like
if you're 70 doing some dumb stuff, you older to know better.
I was locked up with a 70-year-old.
They all locked up together?
Yeah.
So you could be locked down with somebody 16 and 70?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. That's crazy.
As long as you're females, they don't care how old you are.
As long as you're female, I don't care how old. I heard a lot of young females are getting locked up. Is that true? Or?
Yes. It's true.
It's true?
Yes.
Why is that? I mean, what's going on?
They just doing illegal things, as in taking people's phones. I don't recommend that.
Taking somebody's phone.
Yeah, that's so bad.
Okay.
I'm gonna say, fighting. Some girls too pretty to be fighting. Not all of them, but some of them. And doing things that they see males doing. Males they see doing, they do it the same.
So the females see what the males are doing, they be trying to do it the same.
And they're trying to think that they could do it knowing that
and get away with it.
Right.
Oh my goodness. So, Attorney Pryor, you see it from a different perspective, right? I know there are a lot of young people getting in trouble, but what are some laws that young people need to just know they should not mess with? Is they going to get in trouble, they're going to get locked up, and they're going to go to jail?
Well, I don't want to get on my soapbox, but I'm going to get on it.
Get on it, because she's off the box.
So, a lot of times, I think the biggest problem that younger people identify, but they don't state out loud, is that Black communities are over-criminalized. That young people, especially people of color, are criminalized in their what generally is considered things that teenagers do. White children or non-Black children, I won't try to generalize, but they usually get away. If you get caught with a gun, it's your dad's gun. They don't want to ruin your future. You're not going to get too much of trouble. Police will probably take the kid home, talk to the parents, tell the parent, hey, kids don't want to do that. We don't want to ruin your life. And Black children don't always have that kind of protection around them.
Did you know that?
Especially younger.
Did you know that? that in our community it's over. And we know there are young people doing dumb stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you have a community set up already to catch you, like, I got you, it's kind of, did you know that people are like that when it comes to, they see you, they think you already going to get into do some dumb stuff?
Yes.
Yeah?
You feel it. You know it.
You can tell.
know it.
You can tell?
But you don't vocalize it. And that's one of the
Why you didn't
problems
tell
that
nobody?
young people have.
You felt that way. Since when? Since when did you, at what age did you start feeling like, you know what, they're going to think I'm a robber, I might as well rob them?
This age.
How old are you?
18.
18? So
Yes.
you didn't do it at 16 or 17?
Mm-mm.
Okay, 18.
And it's a fact that most black youths have their first encounter with the police at around the age of 15.
Yeah.
So
That's
because
true.
you guys interact with police at
Yeah,
a
that's
young
true.
age,
Yes.
and generally those first interactions are negative. So that builds distrust.
But what
That
happens
builds.
when the police comes to your school and they play music and everybody's happy? So you said when was your first negative interaction with the police? What happened?
I was at Anacostia Station.
At the subway station?
Yes.
What
I was
happened?
fighting.
You were fighting.
Next thing you know, paintball guns getting shot at me.
Really? How-
I got
you were-
maced and all that. I was
At 15? At 16?
Yes.
But you should have been fighting.
I mean, she started and I had to finish.
You had
like,
to finish, yeah.
you know.
Okay.
I wasn't
But
doing
again, they was really prepared for that.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, there was no form. Well, tell us a positive interaction you had with the police.
that. I didn't.
In elementary school,
No.
you didn't have a police officer friendly come in your school and play music and
When
dance.
I was in the 5th grade, a police officer took me to go get some snacks
Yeah.
after I got into a fight.
Oh, you see, you were fighting again. You've been fighting all my life. I've had to fight.
And my first interaction with the police was different. But we had a different police force then.
Oh.
When I was a kid, when I was in elementary school, we did have officer friendly. And my first interaction with go-go bands was pots and pans. It was the police department that had a go-go band.
Yeah.
And so
My
they
brother's
used to
in
come
that
to
band.
school.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if they're still
They
doing
still
it,
do
but
it.
They used to do it every weekend.
They still do it.
So-
And there are police officers that care so much about not only protecting you, but having a positive interaction. You just haven't seen a lot of them.
Right.
Those
Okay.
programs aren't as widespread as they used to be.
Oh, I know. We need to talk about that. We need to get more of y'all on there because young people need to see. They need to see police officers before you being arrested by police officers. So I want you to unpack this more. This police state that our young people are living in, and make them feel like my sister feels.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can't specifically point a finger to how this happened because but we definitely can look at crack. We can look at the 80s, and we could kind of say that that's when this directed, focused attention in Black communities kind of came. This kind of tamp down of crime and what they called drug prevention was really a police state that was enforced in Black communities because that's what crack was. That's where it was happening. And the goal was to keep it isolated into those communities so that it doesn't spread out to Montgomery County, to Virginia, to
Where
those
other people
areas
live.
where more affluent people live. It's okay if it stays confined within our areas, but once it expands.
So what could young, and I want you to ask this attorney some questions, but I want you to start with you. What are some things that young people need to know about their rights? So when they leave outside of mama or big mama's house, they know their rights. They have some, right?
They do.
Okay.
They do. We're all Americans. We're all have the same constitutional protections. We don't always feel like we have them, but we do. And knowing your rights is a big part of understanding how you interact every day with the police. Police, and especially when you're young, they anticipate that you don't know your rights. They anticipate and they expect that you don't know when they can search your car, that when they can search your person, that is stop and frisk legal. Can they stop you on a warrant when there's reasonable
She's over here
reasonable suspicion become probable cause?
thinking.
When is that? When do those things trigger? And you can know that yes, they can have suspicion, They can see you and they can ask you a question. They can stop you on the street and they can say, "What are you doing? Do you have to answer them?" Those are questions that young people should know. And I believe that if you're armed with that information, then that helps you better navigate and steer the conversation more positively when you're dealing with police.
I got a little crook right here, like, because I'm thinking about even when I hear siren, I'm like, where are they going, right? How do you feel? You have a question? Because I know you see officers differently than I do, but I still get like a crick in my neck when one come around. How do you
they be
feel?
trying to get me.
Yeah. So, do you know your rights? Do you know what to ask and what not to ask when it comes?
I mean, they didn't read my rights when I got locked up.
They did?
No.
Okay. What did they do?
The detectives actually read my rights, not the police officer. They just locked me up and put me in the back of the police car and took me down 6th District.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you're talking about knowing your rights, you have to first determine whether or not you've been arrested, whether or not you actually committed a crime.
They told me I was being detained, and then after that,
being detained. So when people say know your rights, most of the time you're thinking of Miranda. You're thinking of you have the right to remain silent. But that really triggers when there is an interrogation that the police are about to have. They have to have you in custody first, and then they have to start asking you questions. Up until that time, whatever you say is pretty much voluntary. So if you're going to start just talking, then they're going to let you talk.
But you shouldn't
say whatever you want to say.
But you shouldn't.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Right, just be quiet. But if you don't know that, right? But say, what's the difference between being detained,
or
that's that word? Because I got handcuffs on me. I feel arrested, right? So tell us the difference between this, because that could be confusing. This in itself.
It is confusing. If you are in a fight and police have become involved, they have to sort out the situation. They got to separate people. They got to figure out what's going on. So they do have to detain. They got to put you on one side. They got to put the other person on the other side. So there's a detain. They're detaining the people, right? But they're in the process of trying to figure out what's going on. So that in itself is not a negative situation. We have to have law and order, right? People can't be just fighting in the streets.
We got to
detain. And then once we detain, then we can ask questions. But if the police are going to charge you with something, there has to be a crime, right? So we have to identify, are you being detained? Are you being charged with something? Just separating parties that are having a fight is one thing. But if the police suspect somebody of selling drugs, then now we need to know what that crime is before we start talking about what are your rights under Miranda, whether or not you're actually being detained and you're being questioned on whether or not they suspect you.
So we agree that young people need to understand the difference. But you have a question.
Yes. Back to when you said that they had to separate. Do you think that it's illegal for them to shoot paintball guns at young females and young males and macing them instead of separating them? Because that's exactly what happened to me.
Absolutely not. I would never. I don't know the specifics of that particular situation.
Your whole forehead just changed. It's like they shot paper. Yeah, that's like
it's crazy because that sounds crazy to me. Yeah. First of all, you're a minor, right? You're a minor, and I would not want adults treating children in that way. Period. So I don't know the specifics of what was going on. I don't know how many people were involved. I don't know what the situation was. I don't know if anybody was armed. So there are a lot of moving parts when it comes to, and that's one thing that the police always walk into. When the parts are moving, they have no idea what's going on either. So I think that policing requires a lot of training. Are police properly trained? No. Because you can't train people for every possible situation. But if you have, and I'm just going to be blunt, if you have police officers that are already afraid of the communities in which they're policing, then you have to understand that that's how they're going to approach every situation that they're in.
I'm glad you said that. And this is why, and tell me this is why, as a brand ambassador, your story is important. And as with all your other brand ambassadors, when we get attorneys together to say we need to sit down with the police officers and we need to have a dialogue on really helping to create content so that young people understand what's wrong is wrong. Y'all did not need to be fighting. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, be 100. Be off the box. Come on, right? But at the same time, we need to have a better relationship between young people and police officers. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
And as brand ambassadors, you all have the power to literally have that conversation. Because your mother, I mean, at some point, what is the parents' rights as it relates to supporting young people out there? Because they're going to be outside. They have the right to be outside.
That's an interesting question because that is actually in flux right now. The new Janine Pirro, who is Trump appointed, and she's trying to litigate a lot of things in Washington, D.C. Yeah, because that's how I feel.
Okay.
But there is a movement that's swelling right now to make parents accountable for the actions of their minor children.
Did your mother get locked up because you got locked up?
Mm-mm.
How would that affect you if the new law is your mother would have to go to jail?
That was going.
Oh my.
Man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The law as it stands is that children are responsible for their own actions. So if you go outside and you start fighting and you get in trouble, you get in trouble. But what the administration wants to do now and what they're pushing for now is to make your mom, your dad, your grandmother, whoever is your parental figure, responsible for what you do out here in the street.
I got to sit up for this one.
Is directly impacted.
How would you feel knowing that, okay, I'm out there defending myself because you was thinking you were defending yourself, right? But, and you out there, if your mother had to go to jail for you, how would that affect the rest of your family? Because you have brothers and sisters, right?
On my father's side. On my mother's side, I'm the only child.
Okay. But if your mother had to go, how would that affect her life?
That would have affected her life bad. Like, my mother is a manager at a college. Like, people need her at that college. If my mother was to get locked up, that would change her whole background. Like, they would look at her differently, stuff like that. I don't need nobody looking at my mother differently because I'm forever right behind my mother. Yeah. And it's like, her battle is my battle, but I feel like that they shouldn't punish the parents for the child consequences. I feel like the child should do their consequences, do their time, and when they come out, they should know, how they affect their parents.
So you were down at the council building, right? Yeah, you remember walking through those council members' offices?
I wasn't there.
Oh, you weren't there. See, you missed it. Yeah. And why didn't you go inside the building?
Because they had mace on me.
See, yeah. I just wanted to put that out there, right? Because you could have walked in that building and actually spoke to the council members like the other brand ambassadors did. But because you weren't prepared, because you had mace on you, because you feel that that's part of you being safe in these streets, right? Just 100, right?
That's it.
Carrying mace is not a bad thing.
No, I'm not saying at all.
You out here, you're walking back and forth.
It's legal, right?
It's totally legal.
Okay.
So there's no shame in that.
Not at all.
Right? So there's no shame in you having it. But when you're in those type of spaces, when you're going to public buildings, you want to be careful of that.
And that's something you didn't know. And it's okay. And that's why we roll together with explaining that you, as young people, think about all of your brand ambassadors, right? You got some other friends, right?
Yeah.
And they are affected, and they are effective in telling the state what the truth is around young people when it comes to interactions with the law officers. Because in D.C., you have how many different legal... we got D.C. police, we got... What else we got?
We are...
Capitol Hill police?
I can't even name it. I can tell you that at any given time, DC residents are under the jurisdiction of at least 36 different police agencies.
Did y'all know that? You got 36 different police agencies that can pull you over. And
when I was getting detained, it was MPD, Metro Transit, ICE, Fed,
ICE was
detective, marshals, all of them, just for 2 people.
Oh my God.
And the
you
crazy
didn't know
part
what.
is, I didn't know what was going on because while I was being arrested, they had a taser detained.
Okay.
When I was being detained, they had a taser to my face.
No,
And
they
told
didn't.
me, yes, they did. Had a taser to my face and said, "Put your hands behind your back, or we're going to tase you."
Oh my God! And how old were you?
I was 18.
My God! Listen.
I was just scared because I ain't never been tased before. I've been
scared
maced and everything.
I've never been tased.
I
don't want to.
So, but as a brand ambassador, you going out there telling other young people, because tell us, what would you say to young people, and what would you say to the police department, so that we can have a better relationship out here? Because we're gonna go into a new year, a new school year in a minute, right? Yeah. And you gone, but as a brand ambassador, how could we put some social media stuff together to put the word out there so young people are better prepared and not finding themselves tased and detained or locked up?
I feel like it's really stop the violence, for real. Like, stop the violence.
What that mean?
But it's like about the things that you've done. Like, the things, like, think about your actions before you do it. Think before you do anything. Like, if you know it's going to get you in trouble, don't do it. If you know that it's going to be a good cause, think about it first before you know, like, you want to do something. Because a lot of people don't think about their actions. And I wasn't thinking, and that's how I got arrested.
Mm-hmm.
So, it was like...
And if it would have turned out the other way, how much time you would have had to do?
I don't even know, but I know I would have been still locked up to this day if this job wasn't.
Yeah, we're glad that you're a brand ambassador. We're glad Inspire is here because we want to make sure our young people have options. And from a parent perspective, what are some legal things that parents should be thinking about their children's rights as their children are walking out the door and being faced with all of this stuff?
Without sounding cliche, I mean, I think most young Black men parents have the talk with them. You have the talk.
What's the talk?
You want to conversate with them about detention, about interactions with the police. You put your hands out. You want to make sure that you don't do any sudden movements. You want to make sure that you have your ID at the ready. You want to make sure that when it comes to interactions with the police, you're not threatening. It's hard to define what threatening is.
Yeah, because she had a taser at her head.
It's hard to define.
Not her ankle, but at her head.
Because it's a subjective view, right? Yeah. And police have a lot of leeway when it comes to their subjective feelings, how they feel. I feel threatened. I feel afraid. And in the course of doing their police work, they get a lot of advantages when it comes to those feelings in the moment. I feel threatened. I pulled my gun. I feel threatened, I pulled mace. And that feeling of afraid, it comes from their subjective view. It's not how you feel. It's not how I feel or anybody else that's participating or witnessing the event. It's strictly the police officer's feelings. So because of that, that's one of the things in the analysis when you're looking at police brutality, when you're looking at wrongful incarceration, when you're looking at those kind of cases, you're always looking at what is the subjective view of the cop? What did they feel at the time that it was happening? And the judges give those police officers a lot of leeway. So that's one thing that parents need to understand is that it's not about how you feel about your particular child, how I feel about my baby. My baby is wonderful and is out here in the world.
You would your mother said that. My baby is so innocent.
Just wonderful. And that's not how the police see you. That's not always how the police see you. I can think you're a wonderful person.
And you are.
I love that hair.
Yes. I see you a mile away. I can fire you out of the line.
But I don't feel afraid of you.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you and everyone in the room. I don't feel afraid. I don't walking by you, but I can't say I don't walking by you, but I can't say that for everybody that polices this area.
Do you feel that way sometimes that people are afraid of you?
When I was on a box, I ain't gonna lie, I was like, people was looking at me different. And it was like,
when you say you on a box, tell for those who are watching and who don't understand what that means. What that mean?
I was on GPS, as in they was monitoring me.
Your every move.
Every move.
Yeah.
Like where I was.
But you off the box now.
So now I'm basically free until my next court date.
Yeah. Yeah, you're free. Because we got you. We got your back. You're free.
I'm going to pray.
All right? So, how did you feel when you went to certain neighborhoods, when people looked at you and they saw that box?
They was asking me what I did and stuff like that. You know, I ain't going to say what I did. I would just be like, you know, things happen with the police and stuff like that. But I felt like as a female should not be on the box. Like, it's really unladylike, to be honest. And I wasn't really messing with it. But now since I'm off the box, I feel like a young baby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, more and more women are being incarcerated. And when a woman gets incarcerated, the whole family, especially if that female has children, and that child now is not picked up by a grandmom or aunt or uncle or whatever, something, that child goes into protection. Now, we have a few, before we land this plane, we have a few people here. Any questions out here, our guests? Any questions? Yeah, go ahead.
It's just a hypothetical. Say if somebody, you know how the police be like, put your hands up and things like that. They just mash on the gas and take them to the hospital. Because I had somebody that do that in one of my close friends that did that before.
What do you mean? What?
You asking what do you do in that situation? Yeah.
If you were in the car with the guy, or
I'm just saying from your perspective.
What do you mean?
Like from a lawyer perspective.
I don't know. I mean,
like, elaborate more.
Police officers do what?
Like, say if they trying to arrest you, but you mash on the gas or like go fast until you get out the car and arrest you.
That's a high speed chase.
What do you want to know about high speed chases?
So if somebody pulled over your friend and they drove off, you ask them what should they do?
No, I'm not asking what they should do, but like I know the consequences. We're gonna go to jail and we're gonna have sentences.
well, that's where he went to jail, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's no, yeah. Well, thanks for sharing.
That's a hot pursuit.
Yeah.
And a hot pursuit.
It's a hot mess.
It is a hot mess, and it's one of the, it goes. That is the beginning of a longer conversation, because and I would love to have that conversation, because that's something that I would love to share with younger people. It's like your rights under the 14th Amendment. Like, what is a hot pursuit, right? When do the police actually have the ability to arrest and search you based on incidents like that? Like when you engage in a hot pursuit, when you flee from the police, what are your rights under that? What are the police able to do? But that's a longer conversation.
I'm glad you put that out there. And this is why on this edition of Business Wisdom Wednesday, focusing on our young people, our brand ambassadors, we want to be able to, as brand ambassadors, to interview people like yourselves, professionals, because young people need to know their rights. And we will have attorneys and accountants, etc. So we are grateful that you're here. But we will be asking you to come back, because when we do our town hall meetings, our live meetings with other young people, and we bring the police officers to sit where you're sitting, and we bring the other people who are part of this whole legal system that is designed, that a lot of times parents and young people don't know about it until they're stuck in it, and like quicksand, a lot of their lives are destroyed. You were really lucky to have a team. You had how many people? Who were the people who helped you stay out of jail?
My mother,
my
father, my boyfriend, my grandmother, my cousin, basically my whole family.
Your whole
I'm not
family.
gonna lie.
And then you
and
had
my therapist.
Yeah, the therapist, and you had
my lawyer.
Your lawyer. A whole team. But I said write down 8 people. You was like, oh, you had 20. You didn't mention 20. We want to make sure that our young people truly know their rights, but know the people that are there for them now. Any other questions? I know we have a few more questions before we land this plane, because we want to make sure on a monthly basis that we are getting young people connected to the truth so that they can have better decisions and live a life. Because the law in Maryland is slightly different from the law in D.C. and Virginia, right?
Exactly.
While they figure out their question, can you tell us how these things happen differently? Because someone might be on the subway and they don't realize that now they're in Prince George's County, and they do something on the subway in Prince George's County that is now even more devastating than if they would have did it in distant D.C.
Okay, so I'll do something I'll talk about something that we just dealt with yesterday.
Okay.
So yesterday yesterday you asked me to work on a lease.
Mm-hmm.
So I was working on, so I had a question about the particular tenants. So the particular tenants are young people. They're going to be around the ages between 18 and 22, somewhere around there. And they're going to be sharing a space together. So come to the table with, here's a list of things that I want to have in a lease. Okay, you want to have these things in a lease. But then as an attorney, it's my job to try to figure out what are the other things that can be implicated? What are the other issues that may come up during the course of people living and interacting together? So a client comes to me, they want to sit down, they want to discuss the things that they want to, the legal issue that they have. But the lawyer, like a brand ambassador, we have to tell a story. So we have to look at the whole picture. I don't just think of things as of the immediate consequence. I always have to look at things from the worst possible, the best possible scenario. So to make sure that the client's needs are met 360. So right now, it's very common for 18, 19-year-olds to smoke marijuana. And right now, you live in a city, DC allows that to happen in homes. You have the ability to grow and grow your own marijuana in your home up to a certain amount. Sometimes people confuse that law and they think that because it's okay to smoke weed in a house, that translates to being able to smoke weed in a car. DC law does not allow that. DC law only permits you to smoke weed in your home, and by definition, home necessarily means a single family home. Because if you live in an apartment, your apartment building gets to choose whether or not they want you to smoke weed in their apartment. So just because the law allows you to do something in a certain way, it doesn't mean that you have the ability to do it everywhere. So when people have that, I have that conversation with young people often. They're in apartment buildings, and the apartment building specifically says, we don't want marijuana smoke in the house. But you think because you pay rent and you live there, that gives you the right to be able to smoke weed in your home. But you're renting. You don't own. If you own a home, then you have the ability to make that decision. But owning a home also means you can live in a condo. And if you live in a condo and the condo association says no marijuana smoking in here, then you still have to abide by those rules. So even though DC law gives you the ability to do certain things, where you live and how you're living dictates whether or not you can follow that law.
That is a lot of laws.
And it's not the same case in Montgomery County. So Maryland law is way different. Maryland law is a relaxed medicinal use. So you can be of age and you can show ID and you can purchase marijuana, but you can't smoke in the car and you can't smoke in the home, and you're technically supposed to have license in order to have marijuana. So if you get pulled over by the police in Maryland, DC law does not apply. So just because you may be transporting weed and you may be going home, relaxed laws in DC and Maryland may get you home, but it still means that you're participating in legal activity. So you have to know, you have to read the law and not just listen to your friends on the corner tell you, hey, marijuana is legal. It's technically not legal. You're not supposed to smoke it on the corner. You're not supposed to smoke it in a car. You're supposed to smoke it in your house. And then there are other caveats to it. Like I said, one thing rolls into another. It becomes a deeper issue.
So that's why at least once a month on Business Wisdom Wednesdays, we're going to focus on our brand ambassadors and interviewing and getting you all, because you all out here, you are our future now. You're our future now. We got to make sure that you all have access. But attorney, just like the other professionals that come, thank you so much for being a part of this. We want to make sure that we continue to make sure people are thinking about their legal rights. Any questions out here? I know we got at least one. Any other question? Yep, go ahead.
What's the biggest legal mistake you see young entrepreneurs or content creators make?
Great question.
I'll start with, I'm not gonna approach this right from 100% legal because that is the Wild West for the law when it comes to social media, because there's a lot of things that it's changing every day. So that landscape changes. Just generally, I think the biggest mistake people have is that they don't research. That's just my biggest peeve with content creators and people is ethics and research. And we are in a landscape right now where people rely too heavily on what they see in content that's created for shock value. Just because you can make it and you can create the content, it doesn't mean that it's right. And just because you see it, it doesn't mean that it's real. AI is evolving every day. It can make things look incredible and then make things look real that are not real. And there are implications to that because we live in a world where overwhelmingly people are believing the things that they see on the internet. So people who create content, I believe, have an ethical duty to make sure that they know what they're putting out is real and back it up. I can't go to court and bring hearsay evidence in unless it meets a certain criteria. I have to. I can't go in and I can't say, well, my client said that 15 people said that they didn't do it. I can't go in. You can't go into a court and say stuff like that. The judge is like, where's your evidence? Where's your proof? You got to back up everything that you say. If I say that a court case is binding to my particular legal argument, I have to show the judge exactly where I got that information from. They don't take my word for it.
Yeah.
I have to back up everything I say with legal evidence. I have to prove it to them every single
honest.
Step.
Yeah.
So, and I think that kind of research and thoroughness is required for people who create content on the internet. Right. And so many times everything is clickbait, is shock and awe, is designed to get people to look. And people are so busy trying to get clout and build up status that they're not paying attention to what it actually does, what their content is doing to people. I have a lot of problems with people saying things and doing things on the internet and not backing up their words. I'll give you one example. I had a friend of mine who came to me she told me she didn't want to stay in a motel. I don't like motels. I don't want to stay in them. But her reason for telling me she didn't want to stay in a motel was because she saw something on TikTok about secret tunnels that take children, something about migrating children or trafficking people and children through walls of motel buildings. And she showed me a TikTok of somebody who said, "You never believe this," and then they look and they push a door open or some back wall of a closet, and it's like a secret passage or something. And I was like, "You got that from this? It's so many cuts and edits in this video, and you think that this is real? Like the Motel 6 up the street is going to be trafficking people through the closet wall." Yeah. But she believed that. And I was like, Pizzagate. I don't know if you guys remember Pizzagate, but a guy came up to Cleveland Park to comment ping pong. He came in and he threatened the whole restaurant because somebody told them that children were being trafficked in a pizza shop. Right. He drove from out of country. He drove from another state, 3-4 other states.
So we do what?
And, because he believed that children were being trafficked in a pizza shop.
So people should be held responsible for the content they put out there. So again, Business Wisdom Wednesday, this platform is not just for you to come tune in the podcast. The information, great information, right? Yeah. So I want to thank you.
And thank you for being open.
Yes, right.
Thank you for being open. Because a lot of people, there's a lot of shame when people make mistakes. And in our community, we are over-policed, we are over-arrested, and young people are criminalized for things that other other ethnic groups are technically not being.
But your future is big and bright as a brand ambassador and a podcast. I just wish you amazing success, and we're here. And I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day and your busy life